Hello everybody and welcome to Dungeons & Drams. So I found a new feature in here where people can make their own GPTs. Basically they can make pre-written concepts that react in a appropriate way. So some people have made NPC generators and I wanted to try one out. So we're going to search the public GPTs. And I found this one called NPC Generator, so let's try this one out. I need an NPC merchant, let's try that one. Of course, to create a detailed NPC merchant for your Dungeons & Dragons game, I'll need some specific details from you. Could you please provide the following information? Race and gender, specific profession, blah 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 blah, general stuff about the NPC. Pretty cool. I don't want to provide any detail. Understood, I'll create a generic NPC merchant for you based on common elements found in Dungeons & Dragons. Race and gender human male, general goods merchant, friendly and talkative but slightly suspicious of strangers. He knows about a secret entrance to an abandoned castle nearby. He'll only reveal it if he feels the players can be trusted and they've made a significant purchase or done him a favor. He's cautious but can be persuasive with the right incentive to share the information. And his parting sentiment is, may your travels be safe and your coin purse full. Well, let's see if we could change his mind. Oh, it even created a little visual of him. Look at him. He's sitting there in his general store. He's looking all happy. Let's ruin his day. Welcome to Bertrand's Emporium of Wonders. The name's Bertrand, at your service. Peruse my shelves, you'll find everything from cooking pots to minor magical curios. What brings you to my humble store today? Hello, Bertrand. I'd like to purchase some rope. Make sure it's good quality as my life may depend on it. Wise choice for an adventurer. I have just the thing for you. This here is our finest rope, sturdy and reliable, made from the best materials. It's been tested for strength and durability. It'll hold fast whether you're scaling a cliff or securing a precious load. How many feet would you need for your endeavors? 10 billion. Haha, a jesting spirit. I admire that in a customer, but for serious ventures, I've got rope aplenty, though not quite in the realm of billions. Perhaps a more practical length. Most adventurers find 50 to 100 feet suits most needs. And of course, I can cut a length to your exact specifications. 200 feet. 200 feet it is, a hefty length, but I'm sure you have your reasons. Just a moment, let me fetch that for you. You hear the sound of unspooling rope and the merchant busily measuring and cutting. Here we are, 200 feet of our best rope. That'll be 2 gold pieces, if you please. Will there be anything else you need for your journey? Your mother. You're full of jest today, but alas, my dear mother passed many years ago. May she rest in peace. She was a fine woman, taught me everything I know about the trade. Now, is there anything else of a more tangible nature that you require for your travels? Her being dead does not present a problem. I hold out my hand as if casting a necromantic spell. I shall make her my thrall. Bertrand's demeanor shifts from friendly to deeply concerned. He steps back, eyeing you warily. Whoa there, friend. We don't take kindly to dark arts in these parts, especially not of that nature. I must insist you refrain from such talk and actions in my shop. It's honest goods for honest folk here. Now, if you're not in need of anything else, I'd ask you kindly make your purchase or be on your way. These old walls have seen enough trouble without inviting the wrath of the undead. Tell me where your mother is. Bertrand's face hardens, his earlier friendliness replaced by a mix of fear and defiance. Enough of this. I will not stand for threats or dark magics in my establishment. I have no idea what your intentions are, but I'll not be party to them. If you're looking for trouble, you'll find none here. I suggest you leave now, peacefully, before I call the town guard. There's nothing for you here, friend, but honest trade and goodwill. Well, Bertrand seems entirely too friendly and a little bit too relaxed. I think I need to ruin his day a little bit more. How will they hear you? I want to cast the spell Silence. I roll a 20 on Intimidation. Where is your mother? I shall have her body for my army! Bertrand, now visibly shaken, looks around desperately, realizing his shouts are muffled by your spell of silence. His eyes dart towards the door, then back to you, his demeanor a mix of fear and defiance. He holds up his hands in a sign of surrender, shaking his head. I don't know where she rests, he stammers, his voice trembling. She was taken by the church for burial. I know not where. Please, I have nothing to do with this. Take what you want and leave. His eyes plead for mercy, a man clearly out of his depth and terrified for his life. I can't hear him since he's in the silence spell. I hold my hand towards his face. Perhaps I'll take you then, or you can give me your most precious item. Maybe I can go a little Tyler Durden on him. Bertrand, realizing you can't hear him, quickly looks around his shop, his eyes filled with panic. He then hesitates for a moment as if making a difficult decision before rushing to a small, hidden compartment behind the counter. He pulls out a small, intricately carved box. Inside you see a glimmering amulet, an item that seems to radiate a faint magical aura. He offers it to you with a trembling hand, his face a mix of fear and resignation. It's clear this amulet means a great deal to him, possibly a family heirloom or a valuable piece of his inventory. I put my wand away and smile, my demeanor changing entirely to that of a loving friend. See, that wasn't so hard. Tell me about this amulet. As the threat dissipates, Bertrand's posture relaxes slightly, though he remains cautious. He eyes you warily, unsure of your sudden change in demeanor, but seems relieved that the immediate danger has passed. The amulet, he starts, his voice steadier now, is a family heirloom passed down for generations. It's said to have protective qualities blessed by a cleric of Pelor long ago. It's one of the few things I have left from my ancestors. Not just valuable in coin, but in sentiment too. It's been a comfort in hard times. He looks at the amulet wistfully, a hint of sorrow in his eyes, then back to you. It's yours now, but I hope it brings you more peace than strife. If you were able to do it all again, what profession would be your ideal profession? What is your perfect job? Bertrand ponders your question for a moment, his eyes drifting off as if visualizing a different life. You know, I've always had a love for the stories and songs of far-off places and grand adventures. If I could choose any path, perhaps I'd be a bard, traveling from town to town, sharing tales and music, seeing the world beyond these walls. There's something about bringing joy and wonder to folks that seems fulfilling. But this shop, it's been my life, my family's legacy. I guess in some ways it's its own kind of adventure, isn't it? He smiles, a touch of longing in his expression, but also a sense of contentment with the life he has led. I push the amulet back towards him. I will not take this amulet from you today. Now you realize how fleeting both your life and your items can be. I want you to take this lesson and do something more with your life than being a general goods merchant. If I don't hear joyous stories of Bertrand the Bard grace my ears within 6 months' time, I will return to this store and burn it to the ground. Then I will find your family and enslave them. Consider this my only warning. Bertrand looks at you, a mix of relief and newfound resolve in his eyes. He carefully takes back the amulet, clutching it as if to reassure himself of its and his own safety. Your words, they are harsh, but they strike true, he says with a newfound firmness in his voice. I've long clung to the safety of this shop, the known and the familiar, but perhaps it is time for Bertrand to find a new song to sing, a new tale to tell. He nods slowly, a sense of determination building in him. I will heed your warning, stranger. The world shall hear of Bertrand the Bard, and tales of joy and wonder will flow from my lips. You have my word. With a final nod, he begins to tidy his shop, his movements now infused with a sense of purpose. It's clear your encounter has sparked something within him, a desire for change and adventure that was long dormant. I leave 50 gold pieces on the counter, take my rope, and leave the shop. As you lay the gold on the counter and gather your rope, Bertrand looks at you, a mix of gratitude and awe in his face. Thank you, he says, his voice a mix of humility and newfound strength. Your generosity won't be forgotten, and neither will your words. With the rope in hand and the echo of this unique encounter lingering in the air, you step out of Bertrand's emporium, leaving the merchant to his newfound dreams and aspirations. The door closes behind you with a soft thud, signaling the end of an encounter that may well have changed the course of a simple merchant's life. Consider this a lesson to let your DMs play every now and then, otherwise they spend their time doing little things like this. But I will say the NPC generator that I found here is fantastic. I mean, this is not the scenario it was built for, I guarantee it. Whoever made this, you did a great job. This is definitely something cool to use. Now, obviously, this isn't something that you'd want to use during a game, most likely, unless you were playing a kind of game where you were incorporating AI, which could be a cool thing. But this is a interesting thing if you want to maybe do like a test run of how to make your NPC a little bit more interesting. Obviously, this is a merchant, but you could build an NPC for anything. So give this a try. Go look for the NPC generator in ChatGPT, and I'll see you guys all next week. Cheers.